Thank you guys all for joining. My name is Zayn Kalyan, CEO of Scorpio Gold. We're very excited to share what we've been working on with the group today. Scorpio has been around for a long time. I got involved with the company about almost exactly a year ago. Took it over as CEO, and have spent the last 12 months really rebuilding the opportunity. We restructured the company, refinanced it, recapitalized it, put it in a much stronger position with a really great group of shareholders. And we're pretty much set up for a really great 2025. Obviously, the gold market has a lot of wind in its sails, and we want to take advantage of that with what we feel is one of probably the more special assets in the US right now. So Scorpio historically has been focused on another asset, but the story the story and company that I'm going to present today is much different than the Scorpio that a lot of people know. We are very focused on the Manhattan District as the core opportunity for the business. The Manhattan District is located 15 kilometers south on the same Manhattan caldera as Round Mountain, which is the largest mine in southern Nevada in the Walker Lane Trend. And really, the opportunity has been driven by the consolidation of the district. Historically, Manhattan has been plagued by separate ownership, fragmented ownership, a number of different assets, all in different hands, and that inability to really bring it into one cohesive unit has really prevented it from being a big mine. And I was having a conversation with someone this morning, and they actually said they made a great point that if it hadn't had this fragmented ownership, it probably would have already been mined out and probably would be a large mine already today. So really, that's the opportunity. Scorpio was very fortunate to consolidate 75% of the district between 2020 and 2023. And since that time, we've further expanded the land package. We staked a fair amount of ground last year. And moving into this year, we're going to be even more aggressive on that front. We do think that there's an opportunity to get that remaining 25% of the district that we don't have today. And then beyond that, that will really drive the opportunity to build on the maiden resource that we're currently working on with the extensive amount of historic work that we have. And to kind of quantify that historic work, we're working on over 100,000 meters of historic drilling, over 1,000 drill holes. And I'll caveat that by saying that we're anticipating putting out some news in the coming weeks around some additional data that we've recently uncovered that could further expand that amount of historic drilling, as well as other historic geologic work that's been done on the project. Beyond that, we have a lot of infrastructure. We have wholly owned water rights at Manhattan. We have a 400-ton per day gravity mill that's fully permitted. We have a permitted accessible underground mine that was last mined in 2008, 2009. And we have a lot of stockpile from that mine as well that sits alongside our mill. And we have power, water, all of the necessary things that you need to build the mine. And the sheer amount of disturbance, as well as having an established plan of operations on the underground, really does put this in a position to actually become a mine. This isn't a project where you're going to be in years and years of permitting. Nevada is consistently ranked in the top 1 and 2 mining jurisdictions in the world, as by the Fraser Institute. And having this established infrastructure, having 5 past producing pits that comprise the project, as well as like over 32 terabytes of historic geologic data, whether that be the drill holes, soil sampling, geophysics, etc. We're really in a great spot to be able to really drive this forward and present an opportunity that can actually become a mine in this market. We are working towards a maiden mineral resource that I'm sure some of the people who are more familiar with Scorpio have been hearing about for probably about a year. I would caveat that it has been delayed, and I do accept that. But at the same time, just the sheer amount of data that we've been able to uncover, even in the past 90 days, has really given us even more confidence in what we're building here. And with that, I think it has been delayed, but I do expect that the market should be very excited. We're targeting a minimum, and I'm going to caveat this as a minimum of 500,000 ounces at north of a gram per ton on this main resource. And I just would encourage everyone to really keep an eye out. Things are really building really well, and we're in a pretty exciting time for the company, especially in the current context of today's gold market. And then again, district scale opportunity. I'll talk about this a little bit later, but when you really look at the project, we're not chasing 1 million ounces at a gram per ton. We're not chasing 750,000 ounces a gram per ton. This really does have district scale potential. We have a very large land package. We've been able to consolidate this ground. There's over 100,000 meters of drilling, but there's targets all over the place to really build this inside the core resource area, as well as beyond that in terms of new discovery and new targets. And I'll talk about that a little bit as we walk through the presentation. And that's the opportunity. We're not chasing a 1 million ounce capped resource. We really do believe that this has north of 2 million ounce potential, and we're going to continue to build towards that as we aggressively work through this year. Just to give some context as to where the Manhattan District is, it's located in the Walker Lane Trend. As I said, it's about 3 hours outside of Las Vegas and 3 hours from Reno, so it's pretty much dead center in the Southern Nevada Trend. We are located directly adjacent to Round Mountain, as I said, on the same Manhattan caldera structure. We have infrastructure, water rights. Nevada is a great place to operate. Very experienced mining labor pool. All the key vendors that you need to operate are in the state. Allows us to operate very well. We're located on a road. It's a great place to operate. So this is a new slide that we added for the presentation today, and it's going to be something that we're talking about a lot over the next 6 months. Especially as we work towards getting the resource out. But this slide really illustrates the ultimate opportunity and what really sets Manhattan apart as a project. If you take a look here on the right, you can see a lot of the core assets, or call it core assets in Nevada or in the Western United States. And you can see that they all exist below this gram per ton average grade. And they also exist in this call it 75% recovery or historic recovery or baseline recovery. Where we're targeting Scorpio is north of a gram per ton, which we have a lot of confidence in from the from our current resource that we're modeling internally and what we're working towards getting compliant later this year. Obviously, as I said, we're working towards something that's north of 500,000 ounces, and I caveat minimum 500,000 ounces. And then beyond that, all of the historic work that we have, like keep in mind that this mine was that the underground mine for Goldwedge was mined as late as or as recent as 2008, 2009. And then before that, Manhattan was mined by Echo Bay up until 1991. So you really we have a lot of historic recovery data that we can work from, and metallurgical data that has informed kind of this baseline of 80 to 90% recoveries. And that really sets this, that's the core thing that sets this project apart. We have size, we have grade, and then beyond that we have recovery. And if you look at that, it really puts us in a league of our own. So this is what we're going to be working towards when we get the resource out. And this is really the message that I want to drive home to the audience today. Is you look at Scorpio today, we're trading at a $10 million market cap. I encourage you to go look at all these other companies on this list. And I'm actually working on another slide right now that just kind of came up this morning, is where we're going to show kind of the value of ounce per ton in the ground associated with market cap, and just kind of looking at all those things with some of our comparables. And you'll see that at 10 million market cap today, we are very undervalued in comparison to a lot of our peers. And we have a great resource. We have a great team behind this company, and we're very excited to get this mineral resource out in the coming months, which will really illustrate and really drive home what we've put on this slide here today. I'll just go over a little bit of the goals and milestones. We've consolidated the district. That was the first core move in Manhattan that's really drive the project forward. Getting our maiden resource out in Q2 of this year, so early April, mid-April is our target. Beyond that, working towards a very aggressive exploration plan in the rest of this year. We intend to get drilling as soon as we possibly can. We want to be very aggressive on that. I noticed in the slide somewhere it says it's a minimum of 7,000 meters. I would say it's a minimum of 10,000 meters that we're going to be drilling this year, especially given kind of the wind and the sales we have with the gold market. And we're going to be very aggressive on that front. And 70% of that drilling will be confirmatory and really focused on the resource area. And then another 30% of that will be focused on new targets and really kind of illustrating the opportunity to build this beyond kind of the core resource area, where we already have a very kind of exciting opportunity in terms of size, and then the ability to really expand beyond that and build something much bigger in terms of district scale. And we have a lot of data and historic drill results from those kind of satellite targets that really do warrant following up and really building out the picture. In terms of metallurgy, as I said, we have a lot of historic metallurgy, but getting modern metallurgy and doing our own test work is really critical to driving this forward. So we are working towards that as we speak, and we'll be putting out more information about that in the coming weeks, about our plans there, and then be aggressive in pursuing that throughout the year. And then ultimately, if I'm back at this presentation a year from now, what I want to be talking about is we put our maiden resource out. We executed on these three things that we've kind of laid out here. Obviously, a lot of drill results and a lot of work's going to be out that'll kind of build towards these three goals. But beyond that is going to be working on an expanded MRE with those leveraging the drilling that we've done over the past 12 months. And then beyond that, really being able to demonstrate the true geologic continuity of the deposit and the district as a whole, to show that this really does have much larger scale and much larger opportunity. Just to talk about myself, CEO, joined at the beginning of last year. My background is in technology and finance, which is a little bit of an odd kind of start into the space, but have been investing in junior mining, working in junior mining space since 2017. Have built a really great foundation. Harrison Pokran, who's my partner, VP of exploration in the company, very strong geologist, worked for B2 Gold for 8 years. Harrison has a wealth of knowledge. He's been a very strategic addition to the company, and we've been very fortunate to build something very special with Scorpio over the past 12 months. And while we are a young team, as I'm sure you can tell, I'm probably the youngest person presenting in this conference today. I can say that we are backed by very strong advisors and mentors. So Charles Funk, Daniel Coons, Leo Hathaway, all very experienced operators and mining professionals, have seen a lot of success collectively and individually, and having the opportunity to have them really back us and drive the company forward. We've been very fortunate. Daniel Coons has been an instrumental part of working towards this maiden resource. Charles was an instrumental part in putting the company together as a whole. And Leo has been a great technical advisor. I was down on site with Leo as recently as 2 weeks ago. He was very impressed with what he saw, and we're hoping to really get him more involved on a technical side as we build this project forward. Just keep going. So just to kind of talk a little bit about the work we did last year, as well as some of the drilling results from the past couple of years. As you can see, we've had some really great results in 2022, 2024. We had some good results as well. But really the message I'm really trying to drive home here is, you can see we've got 4 holes north of 100 gram per gram meter, north of 100 gram meters. And really, these are really great widths, really great intercepts, and they really illustrate the geologic opportunity that exists here. The other point to make here is that all of these holes are located outside the historical pits. So they're not in the west pit, they're not in the east pit. These are new resource areas. This is fresh ore from surface that really has the opportunity to be part of this new mining opportunity with Manhattan. Again, fragmented ownership has been a big piece of this. You can see on the north side of the north side of this road here, you can see this is where the Goldwedge Mill is and the Goldwedge Underground. This project has never been in the same hands as the Manhattan pits on the south side here. So this being able to show this geologic continuity and be able to confirm this, which is one of the holes that we did last year, and we were able to confirm the continuity of this Reliance fault, really has been the opportunity. You can see these Reliance faults here, the Reliance fault here, sorry, this is the controlling structure. Controls the mineralization in both the east and west pit, as well as in the underground. And where this Reliance fault meets the caldera margin, the Manhattan caldera margin, this is the same caldera that we share with Round Mountain. You really do see that's where we're seeing the most mineralization, and that's the big opportunity. There's new targets all over the place that have not been explored. This project is a low sulfidation epithermal vein system. It's hosted in the same Zanzibar limestone as Round Mountain, and it's the Gold Hill Formation. So really, when you kind of put that in the context of a 15 million ounce mine that's located just 10 miles down the road on the same geologic structure, that really paints the picture of where we're going with this. Just to kind of show, these are the grades. This is the current resource model that we're working towards getting compliant later this year. You can see these are the target areas in 2025 that we intend to explore. You can see some of these holes ended in mineralization. Historic drilling only went as deep as 750 feet. More recent drilling, we drilled as deep as 1,500 feet last year. A lot of the holes that we're going to drill this year will be even deeper, really trying to show that this is open at depth, but also along strike. 3 miles to the southeast of this, where it says open here, you have at the other end of 3 miles here, you have 2 past producing pits, the Keystone Jumbo pits, that have never really been extensively explored since 2020. Lots of visible high grade ore at surface there as well. So we're very excited to really build this, not only see the opportunity to build beyond the resource that we have in this core resource area, but really build beyond that as well. This just shows some of the core target areas that we can follow up as well, overlaid over the current resource. 10,000 meters minimum is our goal here. We really see a lot of opportunity to expand that, and we're gonna be as aggressive as we possibly can in being able to build out the resource and drill very get a lot of drilling done, get a lot of meterage in. I'll just briefly touch upon this. It's pretty quick. Metallurgy is really important, especially in this part of Nevada. There's been 4 distinct historical profiles of production since this mine was mined, since went into production in the 70s. Gold is non-refractory, low sulfidation, it's free gold, even in the sulfides, free milling. Historic heap leach recoveries were 77% from the fresh ore, which we have a lot of, given kind of where we're getting these high where we've modeled the resource. So we're pretty excited. And then if you add the gravity and then CIL, you get greater than 90%. So we're very excited with the metallurgy. Everything, all the data that we've been able to leverage thus far has been very promising. And as we move forward, I think it really will be a key piece of setting this project in a league of its own, as I showed on the previous slide. Just briefly, I'll go over the share structure. Got 130 million shares outstanding, trading around 10 cents. So it's called a $13 million market cap, Canadian. And ultimately, I think we're still significantly undervalued. I'll be candid that we are going to be going into a raise here imminently. And we'll have some information of that in the coming weeks. But beyond that, we think that we're in a really great position in this gold market. We're still significantly undervalued. And there's a lot of accretive opportunity for investors to realize here as we grow through 2025.
Right on. We actually have a slew of questions here. We only got about a minute.
Oh, okay.
You got water rights here.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have to get new water rights if you kind of go into an open pit scenario? Because you got an underground permit, correct?
No. So the current water rights that we have can be leveraged for mining. We just have to obviously get an open pit mining permit, but we can still leverage them for open pit mining. So that's no issue. The water rights are extensive. They are significant enough to be able to support an open pit project of the size that we're contemplating. And beyond that, we actually do have the opportunity to acquire more water rights from one of the partners in the district as well. So
yeah. And as you're building all this MRE, you keep talking about, you keep finding more historical data. How much of that is valid still, and how much of it could be used for your MRE? Do you know?
I'd say that's all being worked on as we speak. It's a little early for me to tell you yet, but I think what I would say is that in the coming weeks, we'll probably have a clearer idea as to how much that data can be leveraged.
Yeah. Cool. We do have a bunch of questions. I don't have time to get to them all right now, so we'll make sure we get those emailed off to you, Zayn. And if you can just respond to the investors, that would be really appreciated.
Yeah. And my apologies for going a little bit over.
Oh no, you're good, man. We're right on time. I'm here to crack the whip, so we're golden.
Great.
Zayn, have a great day. Thanks for your time, and we'll look forward to watching you progress this asset forward.
Thanks, Arlen. Appreciate it.